I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
We are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 22. Last episode was something. It was something that has not left my mind for a second. It's been a few days since we recorded last episode, and I think I've gotten a decent grasp on it, believe it or not, in regards to just accepting what the story is so far, and I think appreciating it a different amount, to a different degree than I did last week, because it was so much, right? Mm-hmm. But upon editing it, I think I gained an even greater appreciation for the music last episode. Oh. At a point in our discussion, we thought that captions weren't on the screen because there was mouthing of words happening in the flashback where Ymir sacrifices herself to, or puts herself out of her own misery, however you'd like to look at it. And upon viewing it again, I'm just I was so captivated by last episode, and there wasn't as much dialogue as a typical episode. They told this whole story.
Which is normally one of our favorite things about the show in general, is the dialogue and kind of how in-depth we can get into what it means for the characters, specifically even words that they say and when they say it. And for an episode to be that powerful we don't even get eyes.
Yeah.
For most of it.
And when we do, it completely reminisced Aaron's eyes, like you had pointed out, and to when he first saw everything upon kissing Historia's hand. I don't know. I really love where the story is. I obviously have a few questions, or more I'm just curious as to what the, I guess, origin is, right? I don't know what else to call it other than origin. It's the origin of this power, right. the Titans. It looks like Rava from Legend of Korra.
Which I'm not even I guess in my mind, I'm not even sure if there's meant to be or will be an explanation for that. I would say my curiosity at the moment, really heavily lies in, with what Aaron said at the end of last episode and what we're leading into with this episode. Is all of that true? Does he really mean to wipe out everyone? That's what I'm so curious about, is to see what actually happens. And what is this character actually capable of doing and willing to do? Because I think I might have expected... my expectations have been succeeded in terms of what he is willing or wanting to do if he does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah,
I never imagined he would actually wipe out everyone, and so my expectations for him have been kind of blown out of the water in a way. So I'm really curious to see where this character actually goes.
In the sense of, okay, there's potential that Aaron had this 4D chess move that he was going to do against Zeke, or he had another plan, but there, in that other plan that we were theorizing of, to our greatest theory, I don't think you and I either thought that he was going to end up going through the rumbling. I felt like the rumbling had to happen narratively at some point, but it got to last episode ended off in a point where I feel like the next step in this show is everybody versus Aaron, potentially. And that's an interesting place to be at.
We did say that might be his intention, is to have everyone have a enemy, because then everyone kind of joins together against a cause. I mean, they had so much peace on the island, and because they had someone to blame and someone to hate, and those were these creatures that were outside the walls.
Yeah.
Their focus was on hating something and not each other.
Whether that's intentional or not at this point from Aaron is yet to be seen.
Right.
But I don't know. Last night I was like, Anna, who are the Attack Titan holders that we saw in Aaron's and Zeke's meeting, right? Yes. Of the head catching, and then it looked like it was the last two people. One looked like Armin, and I was like, okay, they have to be Attack Titan holders, right? Seeing the future, what's to come. And you were like, well, not necessarily. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. It could be just the future in general. It doesn't have to be Attack Titan holders.
It doesn't even have to be related to the Attack Titan. So if he can see the future, it doesn't necessarily need to even pertain to him.
Yeah. So I don't know where that's going to end up. But I don't know. I'm been enjoying it There's a
Same.
lot. There's a
I'm
lot.
sh-
Aaron's like a big skeleton rib cage thing, and he's
I know.
massive. He's like,
I'm
the scale's ridiculous.
I'm scared, and I would say the overwhelming feeling I'm feeling is curiosity at the moment, just to see where this goes.
You know who we haven't seen in a bop? Levi and Hanji. I hope that
That's
they're
a
doing
great
okay.
thing to bring up.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that they dove into a river, basically. Hanji, I guess, could tell that Levi was still alive and chose to do that maneuver in order to possibly save him. And that's a really great point, is are they going to be reintroduced? We didn't even get, normally when something big happens, in stories, they normally will storyboard it so you see every single person's reaction, even if they're not necessarily right there. And we got Historia's reaction.
We got some Yelena.
And we got everyone kind of realizing they were in this plane,
Yeah.
and not knowing where they were. Some of them just looking around in this place, this subjects of Ymir
Listening
place,
to Eren.
listening to Eren. And now that we're bringing up Levi and Hanji, I don't think I saw them involved in this. I don't think I saw. Maybe they're hidden in the background,
either.
or
Yeah.
I didn't. Maybe I wasn't intentionally like trying to notice. But now that you bring up where are they, that I'm like, yeah, where are they?
Well, I bring it up. I bring it up because I'm thinking about, okay, if it is like going after Eren or trying to talk sense into Eren or disagreeing with Eren, the scouts disagreeing and wanting to try to stop him, then I can imagine like them trying to scale with ODM gear like the entire rib cage that is Eren. And then I was like, yeah, we'd have Mika Sejan. Wait, where the fuck's Levi? Where the fuck's Hanji? Like, it's been so long.
Especially since Hanji is the leader
Yeah.
of the scouts, and then Levi is basically also, I would say, second in command.
I also had a question for you. I just wrote it down a second ago. What do you think that the general consensus among Eldians is going to be? Because before any of this happened, when Eren was still in that cell, we saw like the general populace like start to
We're on his
waver in their
side.
confidence with the government. They were
Right. supporting
Eren a little bit. So I wonder if they're going to be like, nah, you're right. Let's get to them before they can get to us. Like, I wonder how in agreement the Eldians would or would not be in general, not like the scouts,
So, I do think there will be at least a solid chunk of people who will be like, yeah, if they're gonna come kill us, then we need to get the edge on them. I think there's going to be people, especially people who have suffered. They've already gotten like lost their homes, lost family members
Yeah.
during all of this, and there's probably gonna be a lot that were on Team Eren and then still will be, and some might even cross over to Team Eren. I think that what's interesting is that the people that I believe will have maybe the most issue with it are the people who personally are connected to Eren, and that's just a feeling. When you know someone personally, you have more care for what they choose to do with their life and what choices they make, and if they're a good person or not, or if you view them as a good person. You wouldn't want your best friend to go down a path that you think will hurt them in the long run, or where they will hurt other people in the long run. And so I think that those are the people that are going to be the most like, Eren is in the wrong, we need to stop him, possibly. Because they're so personally attached to his well-being and his future.
Last thing before we get into it, I wonder if at all and in what exposure we'd see more of Ymir as a character. Because part of me feels like, okay, I could see her being like, we learned about her last episode. That was last episode, and that influenced what's going on currently in the story, right? They bridged that gap with that 2,000-year connection and waiting period.
Mm-hmm.
And are we just going to see her goals come true or intentions become more clear through Eren's actions? Like, is this truthfully like what would bring her peace and happiness? Because that's the thing, right? Like,
are they a combination at the moment? Like, we've gotten the words parasitic in the mid-roll last episode. What if this transformation Eren has gone through, unlocking the Founding Titan, basically hugging Ymir in that moment, what if it really did completely combine and or connect them?
Well, you have to there are parasites that exist in like the real world that we live in that can take over an animal's body like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
And take control of it over it. Maybe Ymir going back, like just going crazy, Ymir going back to Genghis Khan in the first place was like a parasite that's taken over her half-dead body, and that will is like somehow still alive. I don't know. If I had to, sorry, but if I had to hedge my bet right now over what like it's gonna be, if anything, or if we learn anything else about it, that parasite, that power, it's gotta lay in like just like a thematic representation of the Earth. Like I think that it's like they'd go down that road with it, especially 4 seasons in, you know, just like an Earth-like thing that might have always been there.
I mean, I like that kind of being it more so than some creature with all this power, a devil, a god. There being debate about it to begin with. I like it having a more natural kind of spin to it.
Yeah, maybe
that it's always been there.
Maybe I'm like projecting that because maybe I want the route to go. I don't know. This is gonna be hard. We're getting a lot of loose ends tied up, and depending on how they tie up is what like makes a story have a cherry on top or not, you know? I don't know. You ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's a little bit satisfying to see this.
Yeah.
Like a power washing video.
Let's watch the world burn. You saw Mr. Braun in the background there.
Is this complete annihilation or sparing of anyone who decides to bow down or retreat?
Sounds like complete annihilation. Last night I put this song over a video of our puppy and sent it to Anna.
He's even slow-mo'd it a little bit.
Spent like 40 minutes. Like Annie, our girl.
What else would that mean?
I literally can't think of anything else.
Look, all the Marleyan
no
Elvians.
shot. It's definitely about Annie, right?
Oh, yeah, why would they show him?
Ouch. Underground. I don't know.
We all live in the underground now. He was the worst person to get this power.
Gabby's like, it's time to get to work. Put some food next to him, some water. Got some options. Maybe he's not feeling carbs, wants an apple instead. It's a lot to work through, honestly. Like, what are you supposed to think right now? What are you supposed... Oh my god.
That is what it is.
That hits a lot different.
Where's Levi?
もうマーレが滅ぶのを繰り返すことはないんだ。だから俺の母ちゃんはどうでもいいってことか。俺がどう思ってあの母ちゃんがいる村に帰り続けたか、お前には蘇ったんだろうが。母ちゃん生き返らせるの。
Did Jean grab... No. Connie! Mikasa grabbed Armin out of the way. Connie's gonna get himself killed over
Yeah,
this.
I know.
Oh, this brings back memories.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. No! Was that Niall? No way, that's Niall!
Oh, shit!
That's totally
It
Niall.
is...
Is Gabby gonna save Kaya?
Yo, don't get my hopes up.
Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah. God.
Who better to save her than the
Yeah.
person that killed Big Sis?
I'm so happy you said that. You just willed that into existence. It's Niall, right?
It was.
I know, but,
I know, I can't be.
Fuck! And it's
Oh,
God!
oh
Stop
my
making me
God,
feel things!
Stop!
Oh!
Stop.
Oh!
You're making
That
me
was like a
cry
fucking...
just for
That,
like 2 seconds.
that was like a trick shot from Modern Warfare 2.
And I can't even grieve over Niall because they had to do that with showing us Sasha.
Oh my God. Devil in all of us.
Children of the Forest.
Oh my God.
Please tell me it is. It has to be. Please, because that would be epic. Yes, it is! Ha! He got beat by a bear, didn't he?
This song. It's like Avengers Endgame. Oh my God.
Oh, it's so epic.
Oh. I'm very worried for Connie.
I know.
I like the way that they're writing his character. I feel like
he's about to die.
Yeah.
Especially with Sasha and Jean having moments in this episode too.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, cool shot.
That is awesome!
What is this song?
Were they running away?
Oh my God.
Please don't make him abnormal that can talk, because that will make me cry. From the beginning.
The slide. This doesn't feel as good as it used to, huh?
Mikasa!
Saving the girl. Mm-hmm. Oh! Animation's great. I'm surprised the girl wasn't wearing the scarf. Flock's alive.
Flock's into this.
God.
To get his mother back. That was sassy of me.
Yeah.
Maybe what's done can't be undone.
He's the one who stripped Reiner of his armor. All the hearting. Annie. And you know who's gonna fucking be here? Oh, no!
Hitch would not have left her
That
side.
was targeted.
Hitch would not
That
have
was
left her
mean.
side.
Okay, that was Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 22. God! I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
It's good to know.
Great episode.
It's a great episode. There were moments, it did what, I think like 5 episodes ago when this initial whole attack happened, surprise attack, sneak attack, or whatever you want to call it. I think sneak attack was the name of the episode. I remember saying that I felt like I couldn't cry or couldn't get upset because then something else would happen, like right after they started me feeling these emotions. It was like a roller coaster of emotions. Like they would start getting me to a point where I started to tear up, and then they derail and go a different path emotionally.
Yes, exactly.
And I felt very similar in this episode.
Yeah. It's interesting because they have so many factors going on at the same time. There's so much to get upset and sad over, but in the past 2 episodes or 3 episodes even, they've intentionally gone elsewhere with it. So they brought us back into the devastation that we've seen similar instances of. We know how much damage is caused. We have to see Pixis as a Titan, which okay, I would rather kill my old commander turned zombie than turn Titan, because I feel like a walking corpse of a person is less disrespectful to that person than turning them into a giant walking baby. That it's so hard to see my favorite characters turned into this and then having to be killed to put them out of their misery.
And the element that like messes with me the most is that no one truly knows if it can be undone.
I know.
Like Armin at the end is like, well, if it could be undone, wouldn't Eren have done it? Like that was a point Gabby brought up, and I'm like in this position where I'm like, so what is done can't be undone? Is that a possibility? Because, you know, that would mean that if Zeke actually had created this, you know, wish with the founder about not being able to have kids anymore, then could that have not been undone after, you know, because I did speculate, oh, well, what if someone else takes control after and then like undoes it? You know, so that's an interesting question mark there. Can things be undone? But I do want to talk about Pixis and Nile here. Specifically, I'm not going to get into it too much because I want to go into the episode. All I'm going to say is that the highlights of them in this episode and who were the people who ended up killing them or putting them out of their misery narratively were the perfect people.
Yeah.
So you know, if they're gonna die in the story, then obviously you want them to go out in the most narratively perfect way that has been set up and has all these little stepstones of... Yeah. It's perfect, unfortunately.
It's not...
Well, I guess
foreshadowing is
fortunately.
not at all the term. It's like it would be something like I don't know. It feels right.
Yeah.
The way that if they have to do it, then it makes
Like,
sense. That
honestly,
these
if they
people are
have
the
to
ones
do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, thank goodness it wasn't someone who didn't make any sense to be
Yeah.
doing it, because then that would have probably been more upsetting or frustrating.
It still sucks because
It still
it
sucks.
just happened. And the questions that Gabby is asking is what my mind was trying to think about, like, in hopes that we'd
Right.
get them.
They didn't have time,
back.
though. Like, in
Yeah.
the first 3 minutes of the episode, Jean's like, look, the Pure Titans are killing our guys right now. They didn't have any time to just be like, ooh, let's wait it out and see if Aaron turns everyone back.
Well, it's
like,
interesting.
People were in harm's way.
Because it's not just Aaron not turning these people back. It's Aaron not controlling them to stop
begin
eating
with.
the scouts,
Mhm.
even, right?
They're not even just going after Marley.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Is that because Aaron's energy or power that he has is running low because it needs to be completely focused on the rumbling? I was wondering if, since it connected to the actual spinal fluid of Zeke, and
Then
we
it-
know that the
that
like
makes
the
sense.
parasite or whatever looked like a spine and it looked
Mhm.
like a nervous system,
Then it's
then
almost like,
it's like maybe it's out of the range of the founder's powers and more in the range of the thing that gave the founder's powers. So it's like you can't cross this line, you know?
or it's like you can't cross over into someone else's territory. Like, technically, these are Zeke's army because they drank literally his spinal fluid. And so that means that Aaron couldn't fix Connie's mom either.
Yeah, true. I was
Possibly.
potentially drawing the connection there between that parasite, whatever that is. And since that is a different thing than Ymir is, and Ymir seemingly was the person to give the founding Titans power to Aaron, and Aaron doesn't have power to
Unlock
do
it for him,
potentially.
basically.
Yeah.
So we're getting all this language, obviously, that's keys and locks and doors and stuff, obviously, throughout the... See, I never thought that the basement key was... Like, I thought that was it for, like, keys and locks that were important.
Yeah.
But for it to enter into territory of not being a literal key anymore and being more like whoever can fit into a certain position in order to gain access to something.
Yeah, what I was saying was more like the ability to have a power is even Ymir herself wouldn't be able to reach that, you know, because it's out of her control, you know.
She doesn't even, well, we don't even know if she knows what happened to her and why she got this and what it is actually. And the world may never know. Thank goodness Pixis wasn't an abnormal that could talk, because for a split second there I thought he was gonna say something
give
like,
me a drink or something,
or like to put him out of his misery. And I'm like, or say like Armin's name out loud or something, and I'm like, thank goodness, because I did not want to see that. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to see it. No, thank you.
Because of the amount of material that they gave us in the past few episodes, it almost feels like it's been an entire season since we last saw some of these characters, even though it's only been a few episodes.
Yes.
And that's
it's moved very quickly.
Yeah, and that's why I'm prefacing what I'm about to say because of that. Like, it feels like I forgot how much I love seeing Gabby, and like her character, and I can see how people could dislike her, but like because of just actions and like, you know, attitude and stuff, and she's only been here for one season, but knowing that she's only been here for one season and what they've been able to do in a non-cheap way with her writing and character is so fucking cool, dude. And a lot of it hinges on the emotional connections we already have with people like Reiner, and but it just fits together so well, and I loved there was something so like, holy shit, this is badass when Gabby was like doing her hair up in the mirror. I was like, oh my god, this is like this is like Aaron downstairs when in the jail cell a couple of
someone's getting to business if they're pulling the hair back from their face.
Exactly.
When this season first started and we got introduced to characters like Falco and Gabby, I was immediately, and even further, this idea was during Willie's speech, Aaron and Reiner in the room, this whole idea that Aaron, Reiner, and Falco were the parallels, the ones that were in comparable situations, the ones to create comparisons from, and... as the story is going on more and more, I'm seeing that maybe it's supposed to be more Gabby and Aaron, and then obviously with this hair scene and you saying that, it fits a little bit more because, all I can think about is Gabby is a child whose homeland got attacked. She's always been one that is willing to attack and fight and be right there running into action, similar to Eren as a kid. And she's also one to say, you know, like, I wasn't there, but you attacked me, so I'm getting revenge for that. And that is similar to Eren. Like, he's getting revenge. He wasn't there when what happened to Ymir happened. But he's like, I'm going to get revenge for all of this.
You know what's great
for
about...
you, for me, to protect the people I love, and Gabby operates the same way.
And what's great about her isn't, like, it doesn't come across, to me at least, that it's like, oh, another one kid exists who is similar, in a sense, to Eren. It's intentionally not a copy and paste, and that there are only certain similarities that they show in intention that... It gives off the impression that there are thousands of kids similar to Eren in the world. And
each character is like a unique combination. They give parallels between Sasha and Gabby. They give parallels. You know, like, everyone is somewhat kind of like feeding off of each other, or we're being able as viewers to see connections between different characters.
Maybe, like, the best, because I'm not doing a good job putting into words what I mean right now, but maybe the best way to say it is what we heard earlier in the episode. There's a little bit of devil in all of us in that sense. There's
I like that.
There are similarities within characters that you might not even think, you know? And, like, that's just a great thing about the show.
Whether it's, like, personality or where you came from, or, you know,
I think it was Nicolo
bloodline.
who said that. But, on the scene right now, we're going through the episode. We're a few minutes in once Gabby gets Reiner in this house, and right after she puts her hair up, they add, like, a little bit of texture to the face and area of Gabby in the reflection, and it just gives off the impression of smudges on a mirror.
She's looking in a mirror.
It's so, like, small and probably didn't take any, like, more than 2 seconds to do, but it's really... awesome. I don't know. I appreciate it.
I'm half expecting Hanji to be, like, on the side of her.
Yeah.
Being like, what's up, Gabby? Like, because she's, like, looking in a mirror.
Yeah. What fight? Why are you fighting?
Well,
who are you fighting? Yeah. But then we see Reiner, like, tucked into bed. He has multiple drinks next to him.
Sweet.
He has bread and apples. And I'm like, Gabby just, like, set out a banquet for him.
Honestly, very sweet to, like, completely tuck him in and then make sure that when he wakes up, he has, like, food and drink.
Yeah.
Like, that. They are family. But I think that Gabby probably would have done that for a few of the maybe not everyone.
Yeah.
But maybe a few of the characters that she cares about.
Yeah. I feel like I look so stupid every time I see the rumbling happening in the background. Like, I just, like, my jaw ends up being on the floor and I'm so flabbergasted. I'm just like, what am I supposed to say? Like I can't believe this is fucking happening.
There were certain moments that I was so focused on what was happening in the foreground that I was kind of, you know, not focusing or remembering necessarily what was happening in the background. And then, honestly, just the gravity of it, I don't think when you're in these more intimate moments of, like, in the foreground of, like, character interactions, what's happening fighting the pure titans, and then to scale back and, like, end the episode and be like, oh, right, look what's in the background.
Yeah. So,
devastation.
Question for you. If potentially people tried to stop Eren from doing this, the scouts, right?
Yeah.
If that's the route that they went down, do you think Eren would weaponize these against the scouts to, like, stop them from trying to stop him? Or do you think he would even have that control?
I don't know what control he has right now at all. I don't know. Did his will and Ymir's will seemingly were the same and very, very strong, and he believes, like, she was calling out for him. And so if he's wholly in the driver's seat here is something I'm possibly debating.
Yeah.
So I don't actually know about scout interactions. I do wonder, you know, when is, you know, there's two characters that we talked about in the intro that I thought we would see something of in this episode of, like, how they're going to enter back into the story, and we didn't. And Levi really is the main person I think of in terms of, like, who's going to be in the front lines trying to stop Eren here. I think of Levi.
The only way...
Obviously, he's probably not, like, strong enough to
Well,
fight right now.
Yeah, the only way that I think Levi could do anything is if he somehow ate somebody, obtained a power of a Titan himself to heal, because he's fucked up.
Right.
You know, he's barely alive.
Question for you.
What?
If Connie were to come across Hanji and Levi holding Falco,
Fuck.
would Connie willingly make the decision to hand over Falco?
I don't know if they have an injection on them. Oh, they do. I'm pretty sure Hanji picked it up before she ran away, right?
I think she did.
I think she did.
I believe she did.
If
it was
she
like
did,
open on the ground, I think.
Yeah,
and I think she grabbed it before
could be
jumping in the
Mandela
water.
effect right now,
Honestly,
but I
could
think
be imagining things.
but I
We have
could
good
see it so
imaginations.
clear in my head. But if that's the case, I don't know, because I still think Connie's gonna die. I don't know how that would happen, but I think Connie's gonna die.
It's just like a question of purely in his character, would he willingly do that?
Dude,
if it's Levi, I'm not sure. As Armin said, Connie's been going to visit his mom time and time again, and
let's just talk about Connie. We're talking about him. Let's talk about
talking
Connie.
about this character, his motivations, personality, everything.
Okay, so can I break down my feelings once the scene progressed of Connie saying what he said and then taking Falco? Immediately, my first reaction was, this is so stupid. And then I'm like, okay, fucking try to put yourself in the world. The entire world, this is like the movie 2012, but worse. The entire world is getting demolished. Several people that you have grown up with and you've looked to as for leadership have been turned into Titans. You've had countless friends die along the way. You've had to go and see your mom, after learning that it is your mom, lay on her back for 4 years in a no intelligible way. You know that there's a possibility that you could... Basically, Connie's mom right now is in some sort of coma. If you turn somebody into a Titan and they can't walk or be a danger to people, really, they are permanently solidified in a place that they can be brought back to life.
Like they're on life support,
It's a torturous position to be in. So I understand and respect why Connie did what he did.
I mean, Eren and Mikasa
did
the same thing.
But I get so frustrated because I think the frustration comes from the second that it happened, my initial thought and feeling was he's gonna die. And not this episode maybe, but because of this decision, he's going to die. Yeah.
Because he chose to separate himself from his best friends and the people that have his back. He is not with anyone that has his back anymore. And honestly, the main person he was normally shown with, other than Jean, was Sasha. And Sasha is not there to have his back anymore. And now he separated himself from Jean, Mikasa, and Armin. And
if we look at Falco, a character who is set up to be a character, like somebody that we love, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody that the audience can really respect and feel for and get his point of view. When he's alone with a character, obviously, we know and love Connie because we've spent 4 seasons with him. But when he's alone with Falco,
is Falco gonna wake up?
It's just Falco with him, and all Falco knows is that this dude who looks he kind of looks cool, since the age up.
Since the age up, they did good. They did good to Connie.
So this pretty cool looking dude is throwing me into a Titan's mouth. And I don't really have a lot of choice, but I'm trying to save myself. And I have the power of a Titan myself that I can turn into. You
know what this is going to be?
What?
Another tree branch conversation.
I don't even think so.
Falco on a tree branch. And then Connie will be, tied up. And Connie will be standing a little bit higher up on another one. I'm just messing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's a possibility that Falco would wake up before actually getting to the destination.
Or in midair.
I don't know. I mean, they have, obviously, his mouth so that he can't, turn into a Titan currently.
He could cut himself on a rock. There's so many ways, I don't know. I
think he's also kind of is it hogtied when it's your feet and your arms?
Yeah. I just am bummed about it because I don't want him to die, even though if that's the correct decision to make.
Since they already killed Sasha.
Maybe he won't die. Maybe he won't. Okay, anyway.
I think we're on the same page,
Yes,
though,
yeah,
that
yeah.
the choices that he made in this episode could definitely lead him down the road of death.
Yeah. Before we miss it, the first thing I have on this episode written down is Mr. Leonhardt. That with the title of the episode, like on the title card, with that, I was like, fuck yeah,
we
and he's coming.
start the
so
episode
happy.
with him, and we end the episode with his daughter.
Yeah. I think that part of the reason why I'm so happy and love Annie so much is because of, like, I have seen several movies and TV shows that just fucking don't care. They just let the loose ends hang. Like,
yeah.
And I just want there to be a reason.
It needs to be tied up. There needs to be something that happens. I hope that this is a story that ties up loose ends.
Yeah.
Other than the things that I think might need to be lofty unknowns.
Yes.
That are kind of overarching the entire story. I'm fine with that. But, like, what happens to characters that have been introduced and had pivotal parts to play?
Exactly.
I need to know what happens.
Exactly. It's like a responsibility.
It's a responsibility.
But so we're getting to a part before Connie even leaves, and it's the conversation remembering Aaron on the train.
Can we just reread all of what John says?
Of
what he thinks Aaron, what he knows and thinks Aaron to be doing here.
Basically, Aaron, he's sacrificing humanity outside the walls to protect us.
I believe that to be what I think is true.
Because there's only one group that benefits from mass genocide. Us. Because you're important to me more than anyone else. And then it's like, they all collectively remember it and are in a state of like, holy shit, that's what he meant. Mm-hmm. You know? Fancy Aaron with like his fancy Aaron haircut.
Right. You imagine kind of knowing that someone that you love, it's so tough, I feel like, probably on their hearts, because at one end of this, one way they could think about it, someone that they love is willing to go to hell for them. Like, literally, if killing a bunch of people probably takes you to an actual hell, in your afterlife, he's willing to do that. That's...
Yeah,
like,
and I loved that scene because it wasn't telling us anything. It was a legitimate reaction I felt like these fictional characters would have when this fucking monumental, like, cataclysm that could never be predicted in the way that it actually is progressing. They're and it's done by somebody that they're very close to. It's like they're trying to process these, like, events and emotions out loud and try to think what's
with such
right.
Awareness.
Yeah, and
such
it's like,
awareness to that they are in a more privileged position here compared to everyone else.
And it's interesting because when John was saying the lines of, like, he's doing all of this for us, mm-hmm. It wasn't him saying out loud, like, oh, what Aaron's doing is for us, like, that's a good thing or a bad thing. No. He was just, like, addressing what's happening, and then Armin's like, it's a fucking genocide. Like, it's so real.
There's an amazing awareness there that the decisions that Aaron is making as a character are, in Aaron's mind, to the best way to properly protect the people that he loves, and he is choosing a selfish goal, which is to protect the people, his people. And he doesn't, and that's why they were like, well, why would Aaron not stop these pure titans? Well, even if he could, does he care as long as the core people he cares about survive? I'm not sure. I think I think it's more that these core people survive that is the main true striving force for him.
Okay, I have a question. This is a question based off of love, trust, and our entire relationship. Okay, if you and I were in ODM gear, scouts fighting for the freedom of humanity, or for
couples already lose out in this show. Like,
I know
you're going down a bad path already here.
If some awful event happened where you were gravely, mortally injured, and I came to your side, and I saw that I couldn't do anything to fix you or save you, mm-hmm. but I did have a syringe. Mm-hmm. Would you want to, 1, me let you die, or 2, trust me, and by having to having to unfortunately turn you into a Titan so that one day I would fight the rest of my life to get to feed somebody with the power of the Titans to you, to give you 13 more years of life with me sometimes, even though that I don't know how aging really would work. If you were a Titan for like 20 years and then...
It's like a weird vampire love story.
I don't know. Like, that's a good question. It's all... Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
What would you do?
So I think that if it was that way, I would say, hell no, don't save me. But if it was you, I would be like selfish and want to save you. So
okay.
I think that's the difference, is that if you were the person in the position of being the one saved, you'd probably be maybe a little more selfless.
Yeah.
And then if you were the person directly looking upon the person that you love and know, like, feeling the like imminent death that's about to happen, then you'd want to be more selfish, I think, is probably how I would personally feel about it.
How trippy would it be to, like, the last thing you see is like a mid-20s Ben, and then it's like you blink, and then the next memory you have is like opening up eyes, and it's like a 75-year-old Ben, and it's like, I finally saved you, but you haven't like aged a day. You know, like, that would be pretty torturous in and of itself.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think I'd want you to save me.
It'd be a good mission, though, and I'd fight my heart out.
I wouldn't want you to save me unless you thought that saving me could, that I could actually be a good warrior in terms of, like, fighting to protect the people that we mutually care to protect.
Yeah, but I wouldn't give a shit about that. I don't think I'd be
a very strong warrior, to be frank.
See,
I am not physically very strong and capable.
This is a perfect example.
I think I can run fast.
This is a perfect example of how people differ and how real life consequences and situations can affect a character's decisions and make them appear smart or dumb. When you look at Connie and seeing how erratic he is in the moment he is now, if it was in the moment with me and you, I wouldn't be thinking about what kind of candidate you'd make. I wouldn't be thinking about if I was going to
me.
That shows, like, on one hand I can think about what would, like, be the best for everybody or for my, like, country, but
like,
no,
yeah, when
like,
Flock was like arguing for Erwin, like, obviously Flock didn't know Armin, so why would Flock be like, yeah, cool, give it to your friend? No, it's like, Erwin's the one he knew. Erwin's the one he had a conversation with and had any amount of relationship, care, respect, whatever it was, nothing towards Armin. So obviously, you know, there's going to be a difference there. And on Levi's end, obviously Levi had more of a feelings towards Erwin than Armin, but, you know, in the end, Armin, as Armin would probably believe is unfortunate, won out in that debate.
When we get into, like, the buildings, right, with just the general, like, scouts or, like, the MP, you know, everybody just, like, within who's fighting right now, and they're all hiding in the buildings, it totally gives me, like, just full season 1 vibes.
And it's so good because it's like, and I think we've gotten it like 3 times maybe. I think this was the 3rd time that we got this feeling of, it was like we got that initial, you know, kind of the gang's first fight, basically. Thomas dying, and then, you know, and then Marco, you know, and
rest in peace, Thomas.
That couple, and wasn't it like edited slightly where he like actually didn't have legs, but we saw him possibly with legs?
That's what Noah said. I don't know if that's true, but that's
Anyway, so we've gotten that with the recruits kind of, you know, burying their heads in realization of what they've gotten themselves into. And then we get that again a second time when all those new recruits join because of how well the scouts are doing. Look, we have Aaron, and look at these powers he has, and you know, and then they basically charge to their death, you know. And now we have another moment of all of these new recruits to something. These are new recruits to the scouts, but they also are new recruits to this restorationist goal with under Flock and then under Aaron. And, you know, to see that 3 times, I'm like, 3 times a charm. So it's nice to see it done 3 times, 2 different groups of people. And
it's
obviously
nice.
I'm glad they were saved.
I mean,
it's nice in terms of like story writing.
Yeah, no,
Not nice,
no,
like
I know,
a nice
I'm joking.
thing to happen. Yeah,
it totally is. And it's genuinely probably one. I understand Reiner, like, I'm tired of seeing these fucking walls. Like, it must be the most traumatic thing ever because, like, it's such a big constant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just strikes fear into every part of you. Do you think we're gonna see Armin colossal it up anytime soon? Obviously, he would have to do it in a very
he'd be one
specific
of many.
area. Yeah.
He wouldn't be, I think, much of a... I don't know. Honestly, if I were Armin, I don't know what he's thinking or planning to do. I don't know if he could do anything on his own. At this point in time, if a plan isn't created, I would probably just turn into the Colossal, say, Mikasa, get on my back, and I would just follow to see what happens. Because I don't actually know what they could, in fact, do to stop Eren. But I do want to say, since we were just there, the repetition of the new recruits in realizing the positions they were in, obviously who saved them was perfection story writing wise as well.
Yeah. It's one of those things, Shades. It's one of those things that there are so many other things in the story that I'm preoccupied, like, thinking about or watching, and it's like it's a very easy, like, turn, right? It's not like a huge, like, season-long development. It's, like, very small that this betrayal happened and this is him coming to save the day. But it was so fucking rewarding. And, like, he looks like such a badass, dude. And it's like, you don't know what you guys are fucking missing out. You're all cowering in here, and you guys beat up this old dude, and this old dude just came and saved your punk asses, you know?
And it's really good, especially when we have two of the other more senior kind of members of the military, turned into Titans and killed in this episode, to have an older kind of generational, in command person still alive and still being a badass in the same episode as these deaths, I think was really perfect.
Great segue to Niall showing up trying to kill Kaya. That was fucking hard. That was really fucking hard. And they made him
kind of small too, to make it, like, even more traumatic
and
for
reminiscent.
Kaya. Yeah.
Like, it was so difficult to feel in this moment because there's so many different directions you could go. Like, obviously, like, you feel awful about Niall, and then in a character, like, you don't want Kaya to die yet because of that, like, interaction potentially with Gabby, and then you said it, like, Gabby was gonna come in, and she did, and fucking, like, jumped off a box. Everything
falls into place with this show. Everything falls into perfect place, that moments before something happens, a lot of the time, I feel like that would be the perfect thing, and then it happens, I'm like, yes! Because it fell into the place it was meant to be, meaning there was already a space for it that had been created, that I think a viewer could get to.
Yeah. Like, fucking, dude, Gabby, like, this is pulling one out of, like, I don't know, like, back when I was in, I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2. I did, like, a lot of, like, like, professional trick shot, whatever. It was, like, a fucking, like, tactical flip, reload, cancel, temper shot, silent shot that fucking Gabby did, dude. It was so, like, I had memories of, like, this is not gonna be something you can really go off of or riff off of, but memories of, like, Quarry and Modern Warfare 2, or, like, Call of Duty 4, and, like, some crazy fucking shots. She even jumped off of a box. It was nuts.
So what she
craziest
does,
shit I've ever seen.
What happens when you get pushback after, like, shooting such a big gun, especially as such a small person, like, when she was about to do this, all I could think about was when she first shot it and shot off Eren's head.
Yeah.
And she was blown back by this. And I'm like, she's in the air. I thought she was going to get, like, really injured when she got pushed back by the shot.
She double jumped, like in Mario, got a bigger hop because of it, because video games, barrel stuffed Niall in the fucking mouth with a bayonet, and then fired. And it sucks that it has to be Niall, because I can't just gush about it, because it's fucking Niall.
Doesn't he have, like,
I can't gush about it like the blood coming out of it. What?
I think he has, like, 2 daughters.
He has kids.
I think he has daughters.
And Falco's gonna have to deliver that message. because he
Oh.
doesn't have a mouth anymore. Nile, because his head got blown off.
Mm-hmm.
But Kaya saw the silhouette and then image.
And a bow and arrow too instead of the so
Sasha.
good.
Fuck, why'd you have
So
to do that,
good.
dude?
As soon as it happened, I was like, stop right there, Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Do not open up other feelings and emotions in me right now.
Yeah. All right, do you want to read the mid-roll? It's about
Yes.
the anti-Titan rifle.
A large caliber single-shot rifle developed for use against Titans. Debuting in a surprise attack of Paradise Island, it's powerful enough to bring down a Titan with a hit to its nape, but the rifle's utility is questionable. Its size, weight, and significant recoil make it a liability to the shooter.
Depends on the fucking shooter, dude.
These are the correct words that I do not know, because I do not know much about guns, but recoil
Yeah.
that is a good word.
Yeah.
And utility. So I will remember that next time. Thank you.
So cool.
Mid-roll.
I really, really appreciated the Nicolo conversation with or not just the Nicolo, but like obviously the Gabby Kaya conversation, and then Nicolo chimes in to save Gabby and the whole devil within all of us, you know.
Mhm.
I really
just that the
like
whole
that.
family like piped up, and even like the more that they all started yelling, the more they kind of it's like if you put a bunch of stuff in front of someone's face, they might forget about the thing that they
Yeah.
were asking about prior.
Yeah.
And so it's like the whole family like gangs together to be like, okay, let's all just be like, yeah, why aren't you saving us, misters? And obviously they tell her like behave until you can get to Ben.
Yep.
How do you feel having your name in the show?
I've never felt like Ben is my name. I've always been disassociated. So I'm just like, who's this Ben dude? Who are we talking about? It's like a fake name for a character even in this show. God damn.
Yeah.
But the dialogue of Kaya and Gabby, and then especially Gabby, is something that I think if you told me was going to happen 10 episodes ago, I would tell you that the only way that's going to happen is me feeling like mad and cheaped out in the moment when it happens. And it felt nothing like that to me. It felt so good. I tried to kill you. I'm a devil, right? And then Gabby's like, no, I'm the devil. So good. Kaya is surprise Pikachu. I've killed lots of people just to earn praise.
When she said that,
It's the devil.
that's the devil in me. When she said her reasoning of why she did this, I thought it was so interesting how she chose, obviously love to go into dialogue and what people, like the word choices these characters choose to use. Like, how she chooses to phrase her motivation.
She's a
like,
fucking kid.
I know, and that's what kids want, is they like, it's the same as like puppies. They want like praise and affection and care.
Yeah.
And they want to make you proud. And when I remember thinking, oh, it's so like kind of noble to be like, I want to make my family honorary Marlians to keep them safe. But like, for Gabby to actually say that her motivation isn't as noble as like, I want to follow in Reiner's
save the
footsteps,
world.
and I want to save the world, or I want to protect my family, and so we can show that we are good Eldians. You know, like that's what I almost expected her to say. But here she's being vulnerable and honest, and this is her honesty.
I don't know the fucking right answer here. All I know is that it's definitely not the right answer if the only way a kid feels like they can get praise and positive attention is by killing people. It's like, and it just...
She was willing to run toward the enemy army in her undergarments.
Okay, we're almost there. It's gonna happen. I lost it when this happened. Okay. There's one in me too, Nicolo says, and in Kaya, and in everyone else. The world is like this because there's a devil in all of us. And then what should we do? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Escape the forest. I was like, oh, it's so good.
Question. When he says all of us, is he referring to every single human, or is he referring to Eldians? Because I could see it going either way in terms of like how to unlock it and interpret it. Him saying that.
I think it's everyone.
I would like to think that the overarching theme or narrative of the show would make it go towards all humans, as Yuri said, is that there's always going to be fighting. And I think we even said it, that even if Zeke's plan worked out and the island devils were completely, not able to have kids, wiped out, no more Eldians, there's gonna be a new enemy someday. There's gonna be infighting. There's going to be nations against nation. Anyway, it's always going to be happening. Peace is not forever, unfortunately.
I don't think Nicolo's like thought if it applies to everybody or whatever. Not like, I'm strictly speaking like that's what I believe, like especially in the world and in the like themes that the show set up. God, and then I think about like Anyan Capone's people, and I'm just like crying on the inside. Sucks. I don't know. It's such a like.
I felt so bad for him at that. I mean, we're not even there yet, so maybe we shouldn't even talk about it. But
We can talk about it.
I just felt so bad for Anyan Capone in that scene where he realizes that, like, I mean, he was willing to side with the island because he thought that the island had, I guess, all the little guys in mind. All of the people that Marley had squashed and triumphed over and hurt. I think he thought that this was a partnership that would have a kind of peace in mind, and that's why he chose to do this and chose to come here and meet the island's people, and to find out that, like, he's done all this and he's been, you know, treated horribly, you know, for who he is even here, and to find out now that none of this could protect his people at all. Like, him going here, him putting his life on the line, sacrificing himself, trying to fight for peace, for the island and for his homeland, hopefully in the future. And then to find out here that to Eren it does not matter who you are. We already know he's willing to kill kids, like,
yeah,
innocence. It does not matter. And to have him realize that, and he got emotional. And honestly, he's a character too that, like, they've given us such only a little amount of him in this, but I'm in love with, like, him and Hanji's dynamic specifically.
Dude, I
I'm
know.
like, Hanji needs to come back so that I can have more moments of them.
It's like you want Hanji to be there while the scene's going down to see her reaction, because most of the time that Anyan Capone has screen time, especially like the first time we saw Anyan Capone was when he was sitting on the chair in front of Hanji. We've had great interactions with the two of them, and it's like, man, you know, I feel like if there's any person in the show who would stand up for this dude or at least sympathize with him or be there for him, it would be Hanji. And then I'm start thinking about Hanji, and I'm like, okay, fuck. Like, what's Hanji and Levi doing? They obviously had to have heard the thing that Eren was saying. If people all the way in Marley could hear it,
we didn't even see them there.
I know.
And so it's like, is that purposeful, or were they? If you're underwater, you can't hear it. I don't know. But I also want to talk about who was hearing this and who was talking to Anya Capone here. And I think that we've gotten throughout kind of this whole show that this idea that Jean really is a leader, and is meant to become a leader in the story. And I think, you know, we had all these interactions of Hanji, Anya Capone, you know, Hanji the one in charge. Hanji's not there right now. To me, that, and like, obviously we also have this dynamic being created now with tension between Floch and Jean, of like, both of them are almost somewhat putting themselves in leadership roles that are against each other.
Yeah.
So that is interesting kind of placement of things.
It's nice to see Jean bring that back, because it feels like we haven't gotten it in a long time. So it's nice to have that, like, okay, like the resolve, I guess. So like, come on, Mikasa and Armin, we got to do this, you know. When we were getting the, like, there was great animation in this episode, like high key, and I wasn't expecting it. But when we were getting the full attack and the battle, and great animation, there was a song that was playing that was absolutely amazing. Like, it's like, I don't know, like, it came in like a completely different vibe than I was expecting for Attack on Titan in this gruesome scene, but I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I love it. Animation great, the song was great. I need to add it to a playlist.
I agree with that.
So while the song was playing and we were getting like pretty good animation, Titans getting killed, even though they're people we know, we get Luis, I believe, which is the girl who Mikasa originally saved, and then the girl who had the interaction with Mikasa after she was detained.
Yes.
I thought she was going to be wearing the scarf.
We both wondered if she would be wearing the scarf. I'm
been fucked up,
slightly
but-
disappointed if for some reason that she is not. I think that honestly here, she's just getting re-enamored with Mikasa. She
Yeah.
already thought Mikasa was awesome, and she already joined. She chose to follow Eren because she thought that Mikasa would have, and then she kind of went down this path of like, what would Mikasa do?
Yeah.
And then obviously Mikasa
WWMD.
diverged from her expectations in the end. But I think she is getting re-enamored here with Mikasa.
Yeah. God, seeing all the Titans and the rumbling just walking in the background.
That's
like
a
you'd
great
never-
shot.
Yeah.
Doesn't it almost these window shots take me back to like, I don't know, in the first like 5 episodes. And there's like those 2 Titans that peer in the window, you know? Oh my god. Oof. Creeps. The creeps you get when you first start watching this show. I'm almost slightly desensitized, I guess, to like being scared of Titans at the moment.
Well, no, me too.
Or like
but
super creeped out.
when I see this, like, it reminds me of the fucking scale, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of season 1,
They're like the same height as the people that are in the foreground standing.
at the end of season 1, we knew that there were Titans within the walls. You know,
Yeah.
like.
Thanks, Annie.
That being said, I don't think I ever like could fathom the amount of Titans, you know, that were in the walls, and it's just surreal. Like
That's why Annie has to come back now. Is because Annie is almost the reason that we found out Titans were in the walls to begin with. And for the walls to now crumble and all of those Titans to be walking, of course it's like perfect timing for her.
Annie's gonna be pissed.
I don't know. I have no read on that girl. I have no read on her, especially since she's been out of it
Well,
for so long.
Here's the deal. I have had about like 13 different Annie theories.
Yeah.
None of them are right.
You've had a lot of fun with your Annie theories.
None of them are true. None of them are right. It seems that there is no deeper connection, and that is fine. I just hadn't seen my girl in a while. Had to do, you know.
Yeah.
I think that Annie just wants to go home.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be very sad and upset that she hears this boy who she took down in training and fought in the woods is now going to take that away from her.
Will she be disappointed in him?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how she's gonna feel because I can go a bunch of different places with it. I don't think I feel like a concrete feeling of what I think she's going to do, think, or react. All I feel is that Hitch definitely did not leave her side, even with all of this happening, and Hitch is there.
I imagine
Hitch is about to. Hitch might have even had Hitch might not have actually been there, but Hitch for sure is having the same realization as Armin at the same time and running there.
Yeah. I'm really glad that this is the time that Annie's out, because last episode and then in the beginning of this episode, they definitely did make a choice to use the word, I am going to release the hardening on the walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they
release all hardening, and then we find out with like what happened to Reiner. See, were you confused at the beginning? When Reiner was talking about it to Gabby, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then when I think we kind of learn in more specific terms and get a better understanding of what this actually means in the end of the episode with Armin and Gabby. It's
more power than I thought. It's more specific, detailed power than I thought you'd have. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't think it'd be like a wall with switches on them, and if you turn one switch off, it affects literally every person who can use that. You know,
undo hardening switch. Does that mean that the underground is just going to be a bunch of sinkholes? Even more so. It already is a bunch of sinkholes in specific locations.
Yeah.
Where it was broken, but now if all that hardening's undone, like whoop, the ground is just gonna level out. That would suck.
The cool like figure-looking thing of Crystal Aaron gone.
He's destroying the island. Like the island is gonna be at sea level or below now. The island is underwater now.
You see, Aaron, like I get what you were trying to do by destroying the rest of the world except the island, but you've accidentally destroyed the island too, so now you have to live on the backs of your titans for the rest of, you know, civilization.
I have played video games.
You have?
Yeah, before in my lifetime. where and I've seen also trailers for new ones that come out with this. I'm gonna go very broad with this kind of concept of humans having to live on top of giant beings because there's no more ground, if you will. I feel like I've also seen an anime who had a similar more kind of there was a bunch of water.
The Lorax.
Yes, the Lorax. But this idea of kind of living on top of and creating civilizations on top of giant
turtles, whatever it is,
creatures, because the humans cannot inhabit the ground because maybe it's all water or something like that, noxious gas. I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's several like pieces of media and like even historical like tales.
Yeah,
of, like,
so I just thought it was fun when you said that.
But
it's like, yep, that's enough. How many people do you think could live on top of those like top of the bald heads? You know, maybe I don't know, maybe a lot.
I can't.
See, it's like the Titanic where you have to measure the wood to see if both of them could have fit on it to survive.
Oh, I've never seen
Titanic either.
I've seen Titanic too.
I have not seen Titanic too. But anyway, we need to measure the head circumference of the colossals, maybe even shoulders, then like, you know, multiply by how many there are.
Figure out if there's enough livable space to build homes for everyone. De-homed person here.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. I imagine there would be, considering that the rest of the world is going to be.
Yeah, honestly, for the people that are going to survive this.
I was like, when we were watching the episode, I was like just imagining, like, what happens when all of the colossals like meet at the South Pole, and like, do they all just like run into each other and then are glitching like a video game and kind of like just bumping into each other so they don't continue to walk?
When we saw imagery of them, they almost like swipe over it.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What are the penguins? What about animals? Are the animals fine? Like, if they're all those feet are giant, and if you're just trampling, what about all the poor creatures that exist other than humans?
Might be a restorationist, definitely not a conservationist, you know?
No, animals are going extinct,
yes,
for sure.
Everything is. But it's kind of surreal to see Annie unhardened, you know?
So, is she gasping for air because she's like, whoa, oxygen, what is this? Oh my god. Because she's been just kind of
I think a good question is, did the fact that she was hardened make it so she was unable to quote unquote daydream like the rest of them?
So was she able to hear this? Does she know about this?
And that's why that could partially be why the expression. But I definitely guarantee you we're going to start next episode, same shot, going to pan up and Hitch is going to be like, how you doing, girl?
Honestly, you know, she might have thought when she went into this that honestly, she didn't even need to hear it and need to go there in this daydream with everyone else because she's smart. And I feel like in her mind, she would have thought to herself, the only way that I get out of this without me choosing to get out of this, which she probably couldn't even because she was in it, is if, you know, the founding titan does something. And so, in a way, is she both gasping for air and also gasping because, oh my god, something big just happened for me to get out of there?
They're setting it up for some sort of, like, battle, right? Like, against this force that seems improbable to try to fight against.
Is there even, like, an army that's equipped enough to feel like it stands any chance?
Well, like what do we have? We have one colossal titan. We have a jaw titan that Connie has kidnapped. We have...
That is a child who has never used the power before at all.
And again, this is all, like, under the guides or umbrella that somehow they all can come together to fight against the same enemy.
Also, plus, if you get rid of hardening, like...
Yeah.
Does getting rid of hardening mean, like...
Reiner's gonna be naked.
Currently undoing the hardening, or does it mean, like, forever no more hardening? Because that's the only reason that, like, the jaw really... That was the jaw's defense, and the jaw's, like, weapon, was that, like, skull.
But I think the skull's different than hardening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But Ymir didn't have it.
I think that...
So I thought, like, Galliard, like, created it.
I think that he, like, utilized it, maybe. I put it in a different category, personally, but I could see it being either way. When I think of more of the hardening, I think of, like, Aaron's, like, brass knuckles, you know, or, like, the guarding of the nape. But
nape is such a weird word.
Yeah, I know it is.
I never thought that I
It's
would
like
ever
moist.
use nape in conversations, like ever.
Yeah. But so we have Peak too, Backpack Titan.
I want to know what Peak's. I want to know what Peak's thinking. I want to see. I think I already said this. I want to see Armin and Peak in a room together having a conversation. I want it. I do. I really want it.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Peak has to say. I want to hear what they think of it or talk about together.
God, I'm just like, what do you do? Do you try to? Is your goal to like talk? Like, would you even try? Like, I don't know.
Can he even hear you? Can you even get up that high?
But like, do you want to talk him out of it? I'm not like, what would these characters think? Like,
Right.
Obviously, I think Annie would be pissed and want to stop him. But like, what do Armin and John think? Truthfully, if they had time to think about it, would they be like, okay, if we stop Eren, the world's gonna be pissed and come for him. If we let Eren do it, the world's gonna be annihilated. And then what? I don't know what you do in this situation. My anime brain immediately goes to, oh, you guys gotta stop Eren. But I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do? What's the right answer,
And I think that the right answer is that all of these characters, for the most part, obviously other than Flock, because he's having like the time of his life, are going to be very conflicted, specifically the ones close to Eren, because of that kind of dichotomy, like that relationship of this person I love and care about wants to protect me, and yes, in fact, this would actually protect me, but am I okay with the sacrifice to the world that is going to be made in order to protect me? And I would say that at the end of the day, after some of them might not need to think at all, some of them might need to think, some of them might need to have to double check and triple check that that's what Eren's planning on doing, which I think is probably the boat I would be in if I was in the story. I'd be like, come on guys, do we really think that Eren's gonna do that? I need to triple check with him that that's what he's planning. And then if I triple checked and that was in fact his intention, then I don't think that I could ever I'd be like, wow, I'm flattered that you want to protect me, but I am not willing to live my life knowing that all of those people died in order to protect me.
Yeah. You know what's fucking trippy? We've gotten the seeds this whole second half of the 4th season, but it's like, yeah, we get Annie waking up, but who's thinking about it? Which characters put this thought, right? It's crazy to think about.
And why do we get a call upon the ring? Well,
That's
her dad was shown at the very beginning of the
Yeah.
episode. It's just even more of a great tie.
Is there a tie between the ring
I'm
and the
pretty
dad?
sure her dad gave her the ring before she went.
I remember
Or made it for her or something.
the only thing I remember about the ring is how much of a rabbit hole I felt like I went down at the discovery that somebody made this technology or this piece of jewelry for the sole purpose of turning somebody into a Titan.
And you remember what it was partnered with?
Hmm.
Basically 2 episodes of us watching with horror as Eren tried to continuously bite his hand.
Yeah.
And we were like, stop!
Yeah.
As he's like, the sound effects were mean to us there. That was hard to handle. That was hard to stomach.
Chomp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then later in that episode, Annie comes out with hey, look at this cool handy dandy ring I have. And I'm like, I wish Eren had... Well, obviously there was reasons Eren wasn't immediately changing other than, self-inflicted wounds. But I like seeing the ring at the very end. I think it also poses a question going into a cliffhanger question going into the next episode that is, what will Annie do?
Did Annie she loses the ring when she turns into female Titan, right?
Well, you go inside
yeah.
and you can wear
Okay,
even your
sorry,
OEM
I'm stupid.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
I forget things sometimes. I don't know.
I also do.
Armin's hype about it. I don't know why, but
because he has love feelings for her inside of him that he doesn't know if he needs to identify them as only Bertholtz or himself.
it's another potential Titan to fight against Eren or fight against Armin.
Yeah.
And I don't know. When I think about all the Titans that we have, I don't know what Annie alone could do to really change the entire tide of,
Right.
A battle.
Also, she never really was wanting to battle.
She can call the Titans to her, right?
She can.
That's pretty
Oh,
neat.
if she had woken up 5 minutes earlier she could have, like, protected some people.
But she's pretty far from the action, no?
Yeah, I think so. I don't exactly know, like, how far she is away from it. All I can think of is, like, she is a person that I view as someone who didn't want to be a part of this or fight or kill people to begin with.
I felt like she wanted to go home. She wanted to, like, get her mission done.
And then she gets apologized to in those little flashbacks from her father of, like, the situation she's in.
She's a fucking tragic character.
I am interested in kind of what will Annie do, choices that she will make. I'm interested in finally finding out, after this being the 4th season, finally finding out exactly what she's thinking or how she feels about things. And honestly, I most directly want to know her last kind of conversation she had before kind of what happened, the fight with Aaron, were about Aaron and Aaron's ideals and people that were like Aaron. And so I will be very interested and excited to see how she views Aaron's current ideals and actions.
God. I don't know.
What will Gabby think of Annie? More questions.
I still feel like I it's hard for me to guess what could or would happen next, right? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know what a good answer is here. I don't know what... There's no answer to make everybody happy. It's hard to think of an answer that would make the most amount of people happy. It's dealing with matters that aren't just characters we know. It's dealing with a world we don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's really difficult because then it makes me want to preserve the people I do know over the ones I don't. But that's a dangerous fucking ideal that's being put into action here. I still want to get a close-up of, like, what Aaron is right now. Mm-hmm. Because it looks insane. It looks massive.
So are you going to go to the opening? See it, because I think that's kind of the best shot.
I don't want to go look at it in the opening, because
I don't think we're gonna get a better shot than that.
Not going forward. You don't.
Oh, going forward, I think so. Yes. Oh, I thought you wanted to, like, look at it now. Sorry.
But I feel like if that's, like, the best shot of it, the one that's in the opening, then they'd have to use it in the actual show, and that's when I want to see it.
Yes. Just a quick kind of last question I have: if a power was transferred and handed over by an unknown being that is the creation of all of this strife and all of this power, I feel that because something like that exists, it does not completely eliminate the idea that more somethings like that could exist, and or the power giveth, power taketh away.
No, you're right.
You know? And so I think that there is a possibility that it doesn't have to be the characters that we know that are the ones that put a stop to this.
Yeah.
Or to whatever is going to be the ending of this story. That if there is a supernatural fantasy element to this story, and because of that, I cannot completely turn away from the idea that whatever that thing, being, parasite was, that there could not possibly be more of them, and or that there isn't something higher power-ish that could put a stop to whatever's about to happen.
Put a stop to it. I think that's a great point, though, because maybe that's the end game, right? Maybe the best possible solution is to try to get rid of it, to put everybody at least back on a level of being just human and not having this titan within them, or the potential to be turned into titans or able to utilize that power. You know, just shelving it forever.
What if it was like a full circle thing? Like, this being, this thing, offered this power to this poor, vulnerable girl, and she chose to use it for other people, and now she's finally... like, if you give someone a gift, you'd be mad if they turned around and gave that gift to someone else, right? So what if this thing is just waiting for Ymir to use the gift for herself?
Regifting is... a true horror. That's the true rumbling.
Mm-hmm. This all along, this story has been about, you know, being kind to yourself. Loving yourself.
Or like...
that's the whole theme of the show.
Erase everybody's memories, get rid of the Titan power, Attack on Titan's a prequel to our Earth.
Ooh.
Yep.
I like it. Those are the real dinosaurs.
That intro, man, I'll never get over it. I feel like it's not gonna come back. We're never gonna
I feel like
know.
it was nothing, and we just like the idea that it is something.
God, I would love to see a dinosaur.
Mhm.
I love looking at dinosaurs, man.
I don't think I'd want to see one alive.
You wouldn't want to see a dinosaur
I
alive?
mean, I think that the like Jurassic movies exist for a reason, that is to be like, hey, we should not play with like life in this way.
Well, I mean, we're bringing back woolly mammoths right now.
Oh,
And-
and if you've ever seen Ice Age, then woolly mammoths are like kind-hearted, lovely creatures.
Well,
so I'm like,
The
I think
moral
I'm okay
quandary with
that.
bringing a woolly mammoth back is like you shouldn't like. The debate is a lot
Should
of
a human create life? Isn't that
no.
the
A
debate?
lot of people think that a lot of preservationists think that if human impact was the cause of an extinction of an
demise.
animal, then it is within our responsibility and duty to bring that animal back if we have the opportunity to.
And
so
to
it's,
give them the proper care and resources to help them
yeah.
flourish.
So it's an ongoing debate if woolly mammoths extinction was or was not, caused by humanity. But you're telling me, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong, but you're telling me if Jurassic Park actually existed, you wouldn't go.
Go to the park.
Like, I
If it
know that we have
actually
cautionary
existed-
tales,
I know.
but
If
still.
it actually existed and there was in fact a park, I think it would probably want to be. I think it would be one of those bucket list items that I think I would inevitably go. And I have said before from this show that I would rather die by a big titan compared to like the small one that was chewing on Kaya's mother.
Yeah.
So I would hope that when the actions of the downfall of this Jurassic Park happened, I would hope I was by the T-Rex exhibit. Or that giant, I don't know what it's called. I don't know enough about dinosaurs, but the one that's in the water that's like ginormous.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because like,
So it looks like an alligator gar.
well, no, I'm trying to get like a gauge of like how long is Jurassic Park open for in those movies? How long are the Jurassic World movies open for? Like, if you're getting like 20,000 like visitors a day and you've been open for 4 years until that one day things go wrong, then like probability says,
what are
fuck
the
yeah, I'm
odds
gonna
that
go
the
look
day
at some
you
dinosaurs.
go is
Yeah,
gonna be the day
exactly.
that you die?
It's like a roller coaster, but you actually get something out of it.
Seeing dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Adrenaline. I mean, you get an adrenaline rush with both of them. So honestly, I think you'd probably get more out of seeing the dinosaurs and then possibly having to run away from them.
Would you touch a dinosaur? Or would you like pet one?
Probably. Like an herbivore.
Sorry, I'm like my mind's gone.
Oh, okay.
Dinosaurs.
Well, honestly, I think that since we've gone to such a place as the Jurassic World and Park movies, that maybe that means that we don't.
I've never seen Jurassic Park.
I don't
Any of
know
them.
which ones I've seen.
I saw Jurassic World and then the new Jurassic World. They were awful. But, I mean, I don't know. Dinosaurs. Okay, that's all I have. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Dinosaurs.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry. Please like, I'm sorry. Comment, I'm sorry. And subscribe, I'm sorry. See you next time.